We are just getting started, and we needed all of your energy tonight. So I hope that you enjoyed what you saw, and if you did, please just take a moment and imagine this entire theater full of people who are feeling this vibe. If you laughed, if you were turned on, if it made you think about a thing, just take a second and imagine this theater full, because that is what we need.
Also, just for those of you who don't know, this is Jessica Javier. This is the writer, director, of the project.
Thank you, because I got through the entire Oakland screening and I never said that, and afterwards someone came up to me and was like, so what did you do? So yes, thank you for that. Yeah, so we would love to take some questions. We were going to get a microphone. I don't know if we need it. If anyone has any questions to start us off, we would love to know what you thought, what you feel. You can shout it out, or yes, hi.
What sparked an interest in you to write this?
This lady right here. So, the question was, what sparked an interest to write this? And to be quite honest, I had never ever wanted to do anything other than be a filmmaker. And all of a sudden I heard about somatica, which is the original sex and relationship coaching methodology. Yes, somaticas! I bet you have. Raise your hand if you're a sex coach. Thank you. Raise your hand if you're a sex cat. Thank you. Thank you for turning up. Yeah, and all of a sudden, I started to kind of think about this one and see how she walked in the world, and thought, you know, people should know about these teachings, people should know about these ways, and I had never wanted to do anything other than be a filmmaker. So when I found myself in the training to be a sex coach, it was confusing, and I did it anyway. And then on the first day of this 6-month training, the thing just opened up, and I was like, oh fuck, this is television, I better learn how to write television. Because I thought that these principles that we just touch upon it here. In the series, when the show gets made, we will go so deep, but we touch upon it here, that these principles really could help all of us to have better conversations, more intimacy, more pleasure, more self-acceptance, all of that stuff. So that is what sparked it.
So I have a question. Celeste, for those who don't know, what is somatica?
Yeah, I'm Celeste Hirschman, and I co-founded the Somatica Institute, and created the Somatica method of sex and relationship coaching. But I think at its core, it's not just about sex and relationship coaching, it's about deeply understanding who we are as emotional and erotic beings, and feeling good about expressing that in connection with other people. And I think the conversations that we're having about sex and the sex that we're seeing on television barely scratches the surface of what's possible in terms of eroticism and emotional intimacy, and I want more for everyone. So that's why we created the method.
Are you guys going to series?
Yes. We just don't know exactly when or who's going to do it. And perhaps, it's a little earlier in the evening than usual, but I'm happy to go there now. Usually at the end I say, we need your help. This was a DIY by any means necessary project, which is glorious. Thank you. Making an indie pilot to sell it is not a thing. Nobody does that. Nobody's done it. And so we're looking for our home. We're looking for our people. And if you happen to know some of those people, come and talk to us, please, because we really need the support to get this message out into the world. Gotta lift each other up, right? Anybody else got a question?
Have you all been a part of the course? Have the actors done some kind of training in that too? I'm in your course, and there's real depth of experience, and maybe it's just you're fucking amazingly talented, but did you actually do some work in this field at all?
Yes, actually we did, because when we started filming, we hit pandemic, right? So we had to take a break. And during that time, we all took the course. And we trained for, what's that, like a year or so? Yeah, we all trained as sex, so we're all sex therapists. Yeah, any questions, please? So yes.
So good.
Yeah, everyone did the training.
Yeah, we all do the training. Speaking about the training, if you're even like curious right now, what's the training? What are they talking about? Take the training, because it's not just for people who want to be sex coaches, it's also for people who want to just know themselves better, and you can learn about it at the Somatica Institute. But if you're feeling that little tingle inside, like, what's that? Then you should look into it, is my experience. And you want to talk a little bit about your experience with Somatica?
Sure. So I actually, the way that I was introduced to the project was through the project's production designer, the incredibly talented Olivia Cams. Please, shout out. I have known this incredible beauty since high school. That's my baby girl. And during the pandemic, the project was all cast. And then everything shut down, and everybody was trying to figure out how to keep the momentum going for the project. So Jessica said, why don't we do a social media campaign or kind of series where we're asking people in the entertainment industry, what is it that you want to see more of in the realm of sex and relationships? Like, what kind of sex is not happening on TV that you want to see more of? And my dear friend Olivia was like, oh my God, we have to interview my friend Miranda. Like, she would fucking love this. So we did an interview. I want to say I had done a little microdose before. So it was particularly spiritual. It was all about, which I do believe, I really do believe that the intersectionality of spirituality and sensuality is not talked about enough. It's not something that we explore enough, and especially as women. That really is where such power lies, in our sensual nature, and it's holy, it's divine. So, kind of started talking about that. Jessica watched the interview and was like, I've never heard anybody talk like this before. Yeah, you should be a part of the project. I don't know how, but you're in. And sent me the script, I read it, and I just was like, oh my God. I remember crying, I just felt so seen, and I felt so excited that something like this existed. And I was like, well, I want to be a part of this. I just want to help get this made. So I kind of came on as just like a cheerleader, like a groupie. And then one thing led to another, and the role of Renee opened up, and I was lucky enough, because when I was reading it, I was like, I mean, obviously, Renee would be great, but totally not attached. Whatever happens, happens. It's all divine. It's all happening exactly as it's supposed to. And then I was lucky enough to get to be with all of these incredible women and play Renee.
Yeah.
So
round of applause for Renee, too. So on that note, I'd love to just ask you a question while we're here. Renee is bold and fearless, and she goes after what she wants. And I love her for that. I love you for that. And I'm curious a little bit about how playing Renee, how being in Somatica has emboldened you or affected you as an actor, as a lover, and then also as a sex-positive celebrity. Somebody who talks about sexuality. How has Renee affected you personally?
I mean, what a question. Renee is loosely inspired by Celeste. In the duo, that is who, we light the candle of Celeste. So in the ritual of playing Renee. And I'm inspired by Celeste all the time. I'm inspired by you all the time. One of the things that she and Danielle say about working with clients is that they are greedy for their clients to get everything that they want. in their sensual experience and their intimate experiences and beyond. And so I think that's definitely a way that I have felt emboldened as an individual working in somatica. It's just, I felt emboldened to allow myself to want what I want and to verbalize what I want and to not feel ashamed about what it is that I want. What?
Is that why you had your hair straight?
Honestly, no. Honestly, she said, "Is that why your hair's straight in the show?" Is because Celeste's hair is straight. Honestly, we were just trying to create a look for Renee that made her distinctly different than Emma. And yeah, so that's all that was.
Yeah, and it was a challenge because this woman is stunning, and Renee is stunning. But one of the challenges, I think, like from a creative perspective, that was really interesting was to kind of find a place creatively where what turns heads for Renee is hopefully how she enters the room. Not only her gorgeous mane and deliciousness, but that's kind of what walks in is her way of being energy. Yeah. While we're talking about somatic experience, I'd love to talk with you, my darling, a little bit about, I think on the first days of set, I'll always remember how we were kind of finding the knob, the dial around vulnerability and directness with Emma. Strength and tenderness. Again, coming from that place of being super greedy for clients. And I just wondered a little bit how finding that dynamic in Emma may have influenced how you do relationship, how you connect to human beings.
Yes. I've always been very reactive in my life. In relationships. And it was really it was challenging for me to find that. I wanted to react a lot, especially that scene when she's yelling at me and I was like, I just want to yell at her. And just like, you have to, this is not that person. So I learned a lot about receiving and calming down my reactive nature and just breathing, and just taking it in and just being in control more of my emotions, which is, I struggle with that still. But I think I'm more aware of it, and it's really strengthened my communication skills, because honestly, communication was never one of my strong things in relationships. So yeah, it really did help me a lot. I think it's made me less judgmental about my needs. I always thought I was never judgmental, because I'm not about other people, but I am really about myself. And that was really interesting to realize. So I'm even more free, and I just do things because, it feels good. I don't sit with, oh my God, you're such a whore. No, I fucking liked it. It was a good moment. And it was, whatever. So I've grown a lot as a result. And I have to thank you ladies for inviting me to be a part of this project and inviting me to be a part of the course. And I think this show has so much value for everyone who watches it and is touched by it, because it really helps us see things in a different way. And I just think it's really powerful, and it's something that needs to get picked up, and it's gonna help everyone. So.
In the purple.
Hi. Thank you so much for this really powerful experience. I wanted to ask about the core beliefs and how, with the two main characters that are playing it, how much do the core beliefs, because one was no, the other one was power. How much do the core beliefs directly relate to how you feel as an individual beyond the role you were playing?
Ooh, I feel like we could all go wild on the core desires question and share all kinds of things, but I'm going to pass it to the core desires queen.
Yeah,
Yeah, just to like briefly define what a core desire is, because a lot of times when people say, you know, what do you want sexually, they think they're asking for instruction manual, like touch me here and tweak my nipple, you know, whatever. But I think there's a much deeper level. It's great to know those skills, but there's a deeper level, which is like, we go to sex to feel something. We go to sex to feel something maybe we missed out on, or, you know, we want either this sort of agency about something bad that happened to us, or like that sort of resolution of like healing around it, repeating it or doing the resolution piece. And it's the conversation that people are not having in terms of what turns them on. Like, what do you want to feel during sex? Because then what you want to do comes out of that and after that. And so it just brings such a deeper level of the conversation. Definitely my core desire is feeling special, like Renee, and, you know, feeling special, and then if I'm very well taken care of, just a little bit used, so.
And that's why we need the series to get picked up, because given the, you know, multiple seasons rather, that we're gonna traverse, we could hit all of your core desires that you didn't even know you had, right? That's the vision.
I mean, that was one of my favorite things about the script was this core desire piece, and even how the potential of like, you know, playing with genres. It's like somebody's core desire could be just a totally different genre than even the one that, you know, we're living in the show. But like, would you just speak a word, Celeste, just to the connection, and maybe we don't have to, we kind of talk about it a little bit in the show, but the connection between trauma and one's core desire.
Yeah, so I would say between our core wounds and our core desire, or maybe sometimes traumatic experiences shape our core desires, and there can be a lot of shame if part of what you fantasize about feels like it's related to something very negative that happened to you. But there's a reclamation and a healing that happens when you say, hey, that's what turns me on, and that's not about this thing that happened in the past. This is about my agency and my arousal, and I'm going to create a space where I can play with that in a consensual way, or a consensually non-consensual way, but in a way that's negotiated with someone who cares about me and my needs. And there's something so healing about going right into maybe the wound or the trauma, but in that place of safety and negotiation and agency that's profoundly healing. And in sex, there's so much energy for the healer.
On that note, I have to bring up Ivy, our DP. Please come up. Olivia, our art director, art designer. Olivia, please, because the artistry of these two incredible creators is what really landed the core desires. This is our DP. Yes, thank you so much. I just wondered if you could share a little bit about, a little bit about the core desires for each of you, and what risks, what choices we made, what you see up there, and how you feel about it, what you enjoyed.
The visual part of it. Well, I mean, this question is, I guess, a collaboration and conversation between all of us, because when you're making indie films, the timeline of it is insane. I came on board a week and a half before we started shooting. And so there wasn't much time to really spend on individually figuring out every single aspect, but I think it comes back to core desire, just understanding the heart of like what every person wants. And so, I mean, I feel like it starts with production, so I'm gonna go there.
Thank you, good pass. That's a good question. Well, I was, like Miranda said, I was brought on early, so different from Ivy. And the conversation started a long time ago, and there was a lot of iterations on like how to visually like represent these core desires in a way that was like really authentic to like what we were trying to communicate, as well as to each character. And so what we finally landed on, and something that I really enjoy in design in general, is when there is this sort of like Like, there are words that you need to get across that you need to like see and understand, and incorporating that into the set and like the experience, so that it's not just like a freeze frame. It's sort of like an immersive sort of fantasy moment that like takes you out and like you're like, okay, you're paying attention, you're hopefully energetically feeling it. So that's where we landed.
Yeah, and on that note too, it was sort of a big choice up front to try to include the core desire language within the set, and so that's something you probably noticed in, for example, the preciousness scene. It's on a card, or in the scene where Renee's over the table, Nathan's core desire is on the ass, you know, and I think it was, I mean, honestly, we just tried to have as much fun as we could. It wasn't really like a formula to it. We were just like, okay, preciousness, what does that look like? Degradation, blindfold, and that scene, for example, that's black and white. We didn't even consider it was black and white until we were in post. So, yeah, we're just trying to have fun.
A lot of fun was had. Do we have any more questions? I know you had your hand up for a while. Yes, please.
It's a bit of a two-parter. I'm curious. Once you're state right, I haven't had anything. I wanted to know what part you had in everything.
Oh, yes, Queen Z. This is our executive producer, frequency designer, general manager. None of this happens without her.
And the second part is I have a love and admiration for Salome. I know her as an actor, and I have so much love for her. And I remember when she was auditioning, she was in the beginning process of this. And then to see like it actually happen is fucking amazing. Wonderful, and I'm so proud of you. At the same time, with the industry change and everything, how long you guys had to like sit and chew and really be in this project. What was like the one takeaway that you really, I know our industry has changed so much since COVID and the strike and everything, really having to hold a piece for that long. What did you really take away from it?
To be incredibly honest, that the universe is a really big place, and just because we made something genius and we're ready doesn't mean that the universe is going to stop and see it just when we want it to happen, but that it is in, right timing. I would use the word divine, but just to like root it is in right timing that everything happens, and I trust that. When we started this project, nobody was talking about polyamory. Nobody was talking about gender expression in the way that they are now. Sex education wasn't there. Goops, sex and goop wasn't there. Like, it wasn't really there. And so I feel and trust that as an industry, we are stepping towards, slowly, kind of maybe tiptoeing towards these kinds of conversations. And I'm very grateful for everybody that has opened the door. But that when the moment comes, this project and these amazing creators with me will be ready to step in and have the conversation that everyone's skirting around now, because most of this stuff is around, most of the really interesting sexuality work is around teenagers, and it's satire, and they kind of check out when I'm like, go in, stay in, go deeper. And so I think that's what I've taken from it, is that, patience and resilience and faith.
I just wanted to, I think we'll take one more question if anybody has. Okay. Yes. Oh, who's been waiting? Okay, never mind. 2. Okay, yes. Thank you, Olivia. Go for it. Yes.
First of all, great job.
Thank you.
I appreciate the cliffhanger, sort of like for your phone. I'm just curious, like what you see. It's probably a longer conversation, but what you see in the future of like art. I see there's a competition probably going on. Something crazy shit's gonna happen before you want to come back. What's your like snapshot of like a season? I know it's a bigger conversation.
Great question.
Why not?
Waiting for someone to ask me that question in a pitch room. I am waiting. But to be very concise, I want to say we're going to be here outside. We'd love to keep talking with you. We're going to have some food, some drinks. We can talk out there for sure. But like to be very succinct, I think that in this season, we will look at lots of different themes and images that touch us all as erotic beings, as sexual beings, and then complicate it and diversify it and look at it from this angle and that angle and really have the kind of deep conversation that I think is lacking around sexuality on screen. But I can get specific. I have seasons broken. Episode 2 is written. I like it even better. Like we can talk about it outside. One more question. We'll take it real quick and then we'll go up.
That was my question.
Okay, great. So that's amazing. So everybody, let's talk about out there. There's nothing I like talking more about than that question. I just want to turn it over to Z. Z has been my partner in this project the entire time. She's incredible. This woman has taught me everything I know about color and aesthetics, and I just want to thank you and pass it over to you to send everybody off into the evening.
Little did I know that when my dear friend Jessica came to me with this amazing idea of a project, how much my world would expand. And I'm just so grateful to you and to all of you wonderful humans and to everyone on cast and crew for putting their heart and soul and time and skill into making such a beautiful piece of art and vision and beauty and intention into the world on a very shoestring budget, I must say. Well done. And I want to thank, go cast and crew, come on. Let's stand up,